got to come to a point of radical decision and surgery and surgically treat itself to a better future. If we betray the young people that have been maimed and abducted, if we betray those who have been called terrorists for asking for a better country, if we betray our comrades that have been hurt, by this regime, those that have been shot at, if we betray people like Boniface Mwangi, who was killed selling masks, if we betray Akina Rex, if we betray, Bridget, this generation, if we betray these people, we will pay dearly. We really must come to a point where Kenya reboots, and it doesn't reboot with the kind of games I've seen played in the private sector, in government, in the civil society. We really must come to our conscience. Even those of you in the diaspora, we must really stop being preyed upon on tribal lines. We really must put up a better country for us and for our children. And so help us God.
Oh, yeah. Asante sana, Mheshimiwa. Yeah. Dr. Milton, get better. If you can pick the mic, that would be awesome too. Thank you and welcome again. Uh, Mwalimu, we live in Kenya where the East African, what do we call the EACC, the anti-corruption, whatever, negotiates with looters, but jails the poor for stealing bread. I think you saw the I don't know the boss of the anti-corruption talking about sharing, getting half of the loot from those people who looted. Where our youth are offered, and we have also seen the president offer our youth a portal to apply for a job and a PR instead of real jobs. And farmers in Moya, Ahero, Bunyala are also suffocated by taxes. And we are talking about a free import of rice that will kill the local agriculture. At the same time, we see in Homer Bay the president for PR trying to fry a fish. Well, many of the families around there for sure go hungry. I think public assets in East Africa, like Portland Cement, are quietly being sold to proxies, and MPs with modest salary can even buy hundreds of millions of shares, even when citizens even can't afford a cooking oil. In this country where PR has replaced policy, I think tribes has replaced unity, and the looting has replaced service. I think in such climate of inequality, and what specific steps can you take to end this culture of tokenism and corruption? Asante sana.
So, first of all, Abdi, I think going back to the devolution conference, we really must ask the difference between, PR and devolution qua devolution. We really must ask why a county like Muranga can showcase real transformation, while others are, just showcasing photographs of dignitaries and so on. We must ask. Um, Maybe let me put it this way, because sometimes words fail me. If you really wanted to know that a county is doing well or a country actually developed, demographics are only one component. But demographics for me are the classroom, it is a classroom expression. Um, if you really wanted to know that a country has developed, you don't look at GDP figures on paper. You look at the faces of the people, because those faces don't lie. You look at whether children are malnourished. You look at people, if at whether people are yawning because they didn't eat anything. You look at if people are able to even afford a shower. You look at how people dress. Not about fashion, but if somebody has worn one t-shirt for 2 weeks because they cannot afford clothes, you look at those components and then you say, are we growing or not? You look at whether our children are sitting at home because they can't go to school, or they are in class learning. You can't lie about that. And so the measure of development, the measure of devolution, The measure of national growth is not conferences, is not television shows, is not even a devolution conference like what took place in Homer Bay. It is what is happening in market stalls. It is what is happening in homes when men are able to take something home at the end of the day. It's, a drop in suicide cases. It's a drop in crime. Some of the crime we're experiencing is people stealing to stay alive. They're stealing food, while those who steal the source or the real source of that food go scot free, and they're called heroes. They're rewarded. So we want to get to a point where we measure GDP, we measure progress by how people are growing. If you hear me talking about Jengam Kenya, you build the person instead of imagining that if you put up an expressway, that you'll be developing the lives of a people. You know, if if you cannot, for example, take care of those who walk to work, and you think by taking care of a few people who drive on an expressway, you're going to be building their lives, you have a problem. And back to a question you asked earlier on why I was taking these guys to court. You see, the chain of command, for example, the order to shoot chain of command, did not come from a demon somewhere or an angel somewhere. It came from a human being in government. Ukipata karibu na police station, piga risasi. That's somebody saying that. When you follow some of the clips, it's policemen with children, with wives, and they are shooting, who are we? Who are. These are parents like me. And so for me, enough was enough. And I just asked myself, I'm older than Murkomen. These are young people that were finishing school the other day. And they are the ones issuing orders to shoot our children. For what? Who are they? Who are they? Who on earth are they? Kupiga risasi. Even Ruto saying, piga risasi mguu. As who? I graduated from university the same year as Ruto, 1990. He was at the University of Nairobi. I was at Kenyatta University. At that time, friends, education worked. It worked. In fact, we were given 3 meals per day. We went to class. Everybody had a room where to stay. You even had accommodation through what was called USAB, USAB. University Students Accommodation Board. So things worked. So if they worked, we must ask, where did things go wrong? How did we get things to deteriorate where our children are, being kept in accommodation quarters like animals? I don't know if you've gone to any high school today, even the so-called national schools, and you find, we used to have decas. Now we have, triple beds. So you have like 6 or 9 students in one small cubicle, bundled up like animals. 2025. And we just keep, promising money there and building churches at State House. Church is my foot. Where are our priorities? So when you see me going to court and saying the Kenyan courts are not.
Mheshimiwa, we lose you. Check your mic again. Thank you guys again for joining the Sunday series. This is the State of the Nation, handled by the Pressure Point. We have a lot of questions that you're asking according to the State of the Nation. One of them is about the leadership and politics. Are we really represented by this political all this leadership that we're seeing at the moment? And if election is held today, will you whom will you vote for, or how will you vote differently? And also the cost of living. We have been talking about this thing, the protest and the voice of citizens. We When we go to the road, the government is hearing us. The future of the youth and service delivery corruption, do we get the service that we need as a people? And also reflection of hope. These are things that we are talking, and that's why we are talking about action points. Where are we heading to? What are the action points? What can we do now so that we cannot make the mistakes? Thank you so much, Mheshimiwa Ruben Kugame. When you have a mic, let us know. And we are so humbled to have you today. And you say that this Wednesday you are going to launch your bid of becoming.
Can you hear me,
Uh,
Hillary?
yeah, I can hear you now. I
I
can
don't
hear
know
you
what
now.
happened, and I don't know when I was bumped out. So I probably was talking to myself.
You bumped out when you were talking about why you went to the court.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm saying that as a parent and also as someone interested in justice, I cannot watch people my age or younger, issuing shoot to kill orders for our children as who? That's not the purpose of government. It's the purpose of government is not to kill, it's not to abduct, it's not to maim our children. And so, if you are going to say we kill our children, of course, Ruben Kigame will tell you absolutely no. You can't do that. Not when I'm alive. Mtafanya wakati nimekufa mimi. So it doesn't matter who you are. I will take you on. And if the Kenyan system does not manage to hear me, of course, I'll take you to the ICC. But you cannot give orders for our children to be killed, whether you are Haji, or you are Kanja, or you are Amin, or you are Murkomen. I mean, who gave you the audacity to kill our children? It will not happen when I'm alive. At least you'll not get away with it. Absolutely not. And it's not because I want to be president. I'm a parent. I'm a parent. Na mi sitakubali watoto wetu kuuawa. You can't issue orders like that. I will not let you. No. Na wakati huo ndio mi husema saa zingine hata macho haisaidii. Kama hiyo ndio inafanya, kama kuwa na macho ndio inafanya mwanze kushutu watoto wetu, then haisaidii. But that's for another time. So I would say, naturally, of course, if you touch on such things, then they will come after you. So the next
Yeah.
day, the KRA say I owe 20 million. 20 million, I don't even make a million. So, and by the way, Hillary, here's something. Unanisikia?
Nakusikia kabisa.
Mimi naishi na ulemavu. I'm blind. I'm blind from when I was 3. So the law allows me to actually ask for tax exemption because of what I make. But Hillary, I have chosen my volition, kibinafsi. I chose not to ask for tax exemption. I pay my taxes. Not because I can't get the exemption, but I look at a policeman earning 18,000 or 30,000 and they're paying taxes. Nami najiuliza, if I'm making more from royalties, why shouldn't I pay taxes? So if I pay taxes voluntarily, then you hound me because I said you shouldn't kill our children. Of course, I will be after you as well. So nikishamalizana na mambo ya kuelezana vile walisema ati I sold property, which I did not sell, So the timing is also interesting. I filed on the 31st of July, and on the next day, KRA was, on my case, wanting to know this and the other. So, and I'm not the only one. I think anytime you begin to take the government on or you become vocal, they'll be after you. It may be taxes today, KRA, it may be something else. But that will not stop us from fighting for justice and wanting
Yes.
the good of the country called Kenya.
Thank you so much, Mushimiwa. Yep, we really appreciate that, and we are sorry about what has happened. And you
No,
said
don't
that.
be sorry. Don't be sorry. Rejoice. This is what it means to fight for freedom.
All right. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you guys for joining. I see Dikembe. Dikembe, how are you doing today? How is your Sunday? And congratulations to Arambe Stars for winning the game again, and even in their pool, they are number one. How are you?
Hillary, thanks. Of course, you knew I was going to start there. I'm very happy with this evening. But before we go there, I want to take a maybe say something about what Ruben Kigame is saying. You know, we are saying Ruben Kigame wants to be president, and so we should be able to treat him with the same scrutiny that we treat other presidential candidates. And the problem I have with Ruben Kigame is he seems to suggest that because of his disability, there are certain things that he ought not to do or that ought not to happen to him. But let me just give you an example. In our country, if you're disabled, you're supposed to, for instance, apply for that there is a disability exemptions. Now, if you don't apply for those exemptions, the law treats you as if you are not disabled. Now, once the law has started treating you as somebody who is not disabled, then you run back to your disability, and I think that is wrong. This is a very sensitive topic, and it becomes very callous when you speak about it. But because we want to, and out of respect, I have a lot of respect for Kigame. But because we want to treat all these presidential candidates, whatever shades they come with on the stage, it is important that if he doesn't want to pay taxes, or if he shouldn't pay taxes because is disabled, we Kenyans enacted a constitution that allowed those who are disabled amongst us not to pay taxes, so that the rest of us who are lucky enough to be able to pay these taxes would cover the cost of those who are in the situation that Brother Kigame is in. But if you've opted not to exercise those privileges, and then the taxman comes for you, so what is the difference between him and these other characters who, whenever they get themselves in problems, and then the law begins now to look around them to clean up the environment in which they operate, then they run up and say, oh, I'm being targeted because of my tribe, I'm being targeted because of my religion, I'm being targeted because of my physical situation. I think the level of scrutiny we give to all presidential candidates and all those who would want to lead us should be the same scrutiny that we extend to everybody else. Having said that, I agree with him that there's need for consistency, so that people don't just embrace people because they are jumping on new issues. Today it's a fad to, you know, stand up for police brutality. So it's the thing. Gen Zs were killed in 2024, so we need to keep on bringing this. It's the thing, and I keep on insisting. I'm somebody who worked for ODM, for instance, and in 2017, we. You are handling parents, you are handling people whose children have been killed, you are handling people who've been, I mean, if at that point in time, and you are an adult, people are saying, oh, people are born, people have been adults for a very long time. Where is the consistency in these things? Because one of the problem, Hillary, I have, and I keep saying this, is people who wake up in 2024 and suddenly are heroes, Mau Mau heroes or whatever heroes. But just a year earlier, where more people were killed, more people were tortured, more people were murdered, and they said nothing. 5 years earlier, even more people. And Now, there is also another issue of ICC scaremongering, where people are today talking about, oh, if the Kenyan courts don't do this, we are going to take these people to the ICC. We have evidence. But these are the same characters who are telling us ni maombi si uchawi, when we are trying to hold people accountable, when we are trying to hold leaders accountable for the 2007 crimes. And remember, part of the reason why most of those ICC cases collapsed was the manner in which the witnesses were intimidated, witnesses were killed. And these people celebrated all these crimes when they were happening. So when ICC is toothless today, then they now want to scare us with ICC, and then they lie to our younger brothers and sisters, the called Gen Zs, who may not have been mature enough when these things were happening, and then they begin so now it's I mean, these things really offend me, and they really
Yeah.
offend my sensibilities. So, Hillary,
Yes.
we are talking about a broader topic. And let me get back to having briefly, digressed to respond to some of those issues by Kigame. Let me get back to
The state of the nation.
today and just say that on sports and
Yes.
the nation sportsmen and sportswomen should look forward with hope that for the first time in so long, we have a government that is really genuine in revamping the sports and arts environment. There was also a proclamation that the president made while during the music festival, where the sports academy he has made a presidential proclamation for the sports academy to expand to include the arts and entertainment and all that. And these are the things that I think we need to pay attention to, so that if that proclamation, what is the import of that proclamation, what is the significance of that proclamation. um the last thing I want to talk about is Homa Bay, because I also heard this briefly from Kigame. It is very easy to make make it appear as if frying fish and all that uh, are not important. But if you were in Homa Bay in 2018, if you visited that town in 2018 and saw where those women were doing those fishmonger women were doing their fishing business, where they were selling and all that, and the neglect that the market was, and you are back there last year, and to see the level of government intervention, those women will always clap for the president. So we can speak a lot on Twitter, we can speak a lot on these platforms, posturing and all that, but qua ground, people usually appreciate. And where I come from, because I come from that part of the world, even a little improvement is appreciated, because people realize the far they came to achieve those things. So it is easy to trivialize the things that are happening in Homa Bay, but you need to take a walk. I want to urge some of these, because the other problem I have with this country is that we don't travel. We don't move. I want to challenge my friend Kigami. When was the last time he went past Bomet? He traveled past Bomet. He needs to go and touch those things. He may not see them, but he needs to go and touch them. He needs
Kembe,
to talk to those
yeah,
people and see
yeah,
how the world has changed.
Kembe.
Thank you,
Let me
Hillary.
let me just come to you on very briefly on Homa Bay. I think the promise of the Homa Bay Devolution Conference was about grant for the people, for prosperity, devolution as a catalyst for equity, inclusion, and social justice. It was supposed to be a place where governors, lawmakers, civil society, and citizens shared real achievement and bold ideas to lift our countries. What we got instead was a show of opulence wrapped in empty substances. Counties spent millions of allowances to make to even somebody get around 70,000 in per diem plus luxury convoys, bloated delegations. But when it comes to time to show what the money had achieved, the displays were very embarrassing. If you look at it, some of them, Bungoma governor doing a chair and a dead TV, some mobile phone, and busy dusting medical kits. We saw some pens and books by governor in Kisumu. Siaya dried fish alone, a student explaining irrigation with nothing. We saw Homa Bay, the host field, lavish tent, but could could not even showcase its flagmanship projects. This wasn't about devolution. It was a display of opulence. Observers from the Kenya National Human Rights called it misuse of public money. You saw it. And let's be fair, let's be honest. Devolution was meant to bring government closer to the people, to unlock opportunities, to lift counties out of poverty. Instead, it is too many places it has been reduced to debt trap, impunity, galas, and personal ATMs for few. This is the reality, unless you have a contrary opinion to this fact. I'll also give Mwalimu Kigame to respond to your queries too. Asante sana.
Yeah, and also, Ruben, as you come in, I see Prof is also joining us, and many people are joining. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. And you can post also your questions as we answer them. But we're talking about broader the what is happening on the in the state of the nation in the country, but also as much as we're looking also the bad sides of what the government is doing, but also we should be honest also. Does anything they have done even right, even one or not? I know, and all these things, do they affect us? How they affect us? What is the way forward? What can we do? Yes, Ruben Kagame, then Anthony, do you
Do,
dropped?
do I have to
Then
respond?
Prof.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
just
they can be just wait. Let Ruben
yeah.
respond, then you come in. Yeah.
Let me also beg to leave after I respond because there's a meeting that began about 10 minutes ago that I've not been able to join. So allow me to say it's important to talk, but it's also important to listen. Bikembe, you are listening to me in reverse. I did not say I want sympathy with KRA. The opposite is true. I'm basically saying that instead of asking for tax exemption, I pay taxes. And it is sheerly on the basis of conscience that if I'm able to pay tax, even my own faith says that I give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. But if I do that, then because I file a court case, you begin to push me to scrutinize and blame me for what is not even there. Then that is witch hunting and not a tax issue. The timing is bad. And lastly, I would like to say that the ICC option is not scaremongering because we are not going into a pity party situation here or seeking sympathy with the international community. Kenya is a signatory to the Rome Statute, and that is what we are appealing to. If you look at my petition, we are not just looking at what is going on locally. Kenya is a big global player in these matters. And so, what would offend me is for us to trivialize what this government has done to take away life, to injure people, to maim them, and then charge them with terrorism, charge them with crime because they are even called criminals. I will not allow that as long as I live. I will speak against it. Thank you.
Hillary, thanks. I just want to say, and I agree entirely with Kigame, that if people have today again turned back and realized that we still need to hold people who commit these barbaric crimes accountable, and sometimes when our national institutions cannot hold them accountable, we need to still seek international intervention. If again we've come back to this moment when we realize that institutions like the International Criminal Court are important for holding a cadre of, power holders accountable, then for those of us who've maintained all these years that institution was important, for those of us who had our sympathies and our support when it was most uncomfortable to do it, that we needed to hold people accountable for their crimes. If the vast majority of Kenyans are today agreeing that these institutions, these international criminal institutions are still important for our country, then for us, that is an improvement. I'm only sad that that reckoning has come in what appears to be a loss, a power loss. It has not come because people have gained new conscience. It has come because some people today feel that the shoe is on the other foot, or the foot is on the other shoe. I don't know how that usually goes. But it is important. I agree entirely. It is important that institutions, whether they are global or national, that are able to hold a certain cadre of power holders accountable for crimes they commit in Kenya on fellow citizens. If these institutions are today as important as they were to some of us, then that's an improvement. And I think we are moving forward in that aspect. Thanks, Hilary.
Thank-
Oh, and Abdi, just as I conclude, you did make certain observations on the posture on devolution. Let us not forget that what's the point for devolution conferences? There are governors who are doing well, and then there are governors who are doing poorly, and sometimes in those platforms it provides some sort of peer review for counties to see that what are we doing right and what are we doing wrong. But governors cannot, for instance, like we're talking about the progress in Kiambu or Muranga or those other places, they can't carry all the projects they're doing to Homa Bay or next to Vihiga or next to Isiolo. They have to just, do a lot on paper. But I agree with you that there are people who still needs to be jailed for the crimes they commit on Kenyans, especially economic crimes. So yes, there are counties that are doing badly and they need to improve, but there are counties that are showing signs of progress, and we need to encourage those ones and congratulate them. Thanks, Abdi.
Do you agree there is any need to have a devolution conference? Honestly, do you agree that we need to have a devolution conference to have all that level of opulence, waste, when actually even hospitals in the remote areas in Kisumu or wherever cannot even afford to buy medicine and anything for this kid? But you can really give an allowance over it. They spent over $1 billion to do that program, and here we are talking about that opulence.
Abdi, some of these conferences provide an opportunity for people to move across the country and see whatever is happening elsewhere. Elsewhere, so on that account, they provide avenues for national unity projects and things like that. There is nothing wrong in peer review, and I think the whole point of these
That is
conferences
not a
is for
question.
peer reviewing.
Kembe,
Some lady was speaking, so I felt
Okay.
I should
Oh,
have
okay.
given leeway.
Abdi, let me ask something from Dikembe before he leaves. Kindly. Can you
The camp is not leaving. Let us
hear?
have order.
Okay.
Let us see your hands. Help, then that one will make our conversation more meaningful.
Hillary,
Bro.
it's sad
Yeah.
that Kigame left after speaking for almost an hour, and those are the things that are too wrong. He needs to be told. We listened to him for almost 45 minutes. It's very sad that he then decides to leave because he's in another meeting. That's very wrong. So next time he's speaking, he needs to
Okay.
speak last.
I hear you. I hear what you're saying. And go ahead then, UFP party.
mi ninasikia hapa Kidembe, I feel like Kidembe and also the anaitwa nani mwenye ameenda you guys, you are joking. I think you do not understand what we actually are asking. When you are coming here with things like just words, you are actually irritating us even much more than what we are supposed to be talking about. Come with facts, come with numbers, then we are going to sit down and say, okay, now this is a very interesting discussion. Unaulizwa a very simple question. The opulence that was happening there, it was in another level, and you are talking about what other people are coming to get from that place, which is not that's not even how it's supposed to work. What is supposed to work is the government is supposed to give that contract to somebody, a private sector, which is going to organize that thing. Then on top of that, people come from different parts of the country to look and understand what is happening there, and it is them who is supposed to pay, not the government pay for the members of parliament and who that and where they're going to sleep. That is upon them to pay for it, not us, the people of Kenya, to pay for them so that they can attend. And you know very well they are not doing anything. You have also talked about Kisumu not being a very interesting, haikupatiwa all the projects. I understand there is a level of impunity even from the executive, the previous one. That one we have accepted it, and it is true, it happened. But now we cannot say devolution ikufika uko, ilifika Kisumu. The members of parliament who are there, they're still being given their money, but they're not using it for the purpose intended. So when you come here and say that you are the market is much better, and okay, that one is in the part of the executive. But what about the part of devolution where they are given the money? We have seen this situation in Western, where the amount of money that is being misused, being stolen, the numbers that are coming out by the newer budget, it is in another level. Si tunajionea kama tu wa Kenya, and we are supposed to pay the taxes. When are we going to get our taxes back? Because it is not doing anything. Hiyo tax ni kama tunawalipia muishi mupatane na wasichana, because that's the only thing that we are seeing, the opulence and the livelihood that you guys are going out with beautiful cars. 2002 mnakuja na gari ingine, 2004 mkunapewa gari ingine. Every 2 years you are being given another car. So there is a level which we have to say we stop. And you are the one who's saying the government is not working, but at the same time you are not happy. Sorry, you are saying the judiciary is not working. At the same time, you're saying the ICC is the one which is supposed to help. Kwangu inakuja inakuwa bizarre, inakuwa nikaa kichwa yangu. Yani, you have to understand, if something is not working and you are in government, you're supposed to help that institution to work, not only for you because you have now come in the government, but also for your future generations. So when you are talking about ICC as if ICC is the wrong person, yet you are in government and the judiciary is not working as intended when you are out of the government, it just looks bizarre. Are you men? Because if you are a man, you assume this is not working. You make it work. You just don't throw... Hillary,
Pole sana, nasikia umekasirika sana, kunywa maji kidogo.
nimekasirika sana because
Kunywa maji kidogo.
Hillary.
I am really angry because I'm a woman. I'm supposed to look at that environment and see the best coming out of every person, every human being. And what we are seeing is just pure stupidity coming from the government and people who are defending it. And I'm sad because you are a human being, and not only a human being, you are a Kenyan. You are supposed to serve not only me, but every other person. But you're just looking at mimi
Anna,
because hiyo kikombe iko kwa upande ile ingine sasa kwendeni huko.
Anna, what do you
I'm sorry,
what?
bye-bye.
No, don't worry about that. What do you say about Harambee Stars winning today?
I am very happy. This
Okay.
should have been done long time ago. It's not like it's supposed to be happening right now. You see, the problem is with Kenya, we used to give money to those who are running, and we look at other sports as if they are not sports. Now we have seen that, yeah, there is the possibility of Harambee Star winning. And now, even not only that, we also see the lady who is doing tennis. There is another one who's doing scream. So you see, the opportunity is there, but they are not giving the opportunity to the right people. This government is stupid. The other previous government is stupid. You guys are thinking about governments, but us people who are outside, we are looking at you like you guys
But
are the most
Anna,
stupid people out there.
let me be biased in this. Do you think that did you voted? Did you vote last time?
No, I did not.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Well, let us hear from UFP party. And thank you so much, Anna, for that. And we are really sorry. That's why the pressure point is here to make sure that the sugar is in the same level, the salt, and even the water for us to balance it. Then we see where to go. And that's why you're saying that what is the action point now going forward and what is the way forward? And thank you so much for that. I see you are really unhappy with what is happening, but also you are happy that Harambee Stars is have gone to another level, which is very positive to our country, and it means that the sport is something. And I see the sport can unite us if we put the talent forward, because I see many people in the field,
Hillary,
and also yes.
if we think made in Kenya, we are going to win. But if we think made in sijui Muranga, made in Kisumu, we are going to lose. This is what they are using, tribalism, putting us into section, into regions. But instead of thinking made in Kenya, if we think made in Kenya, we're going to go very far. Harambee Star is not representing only those who are playing the game. Harambee Star is representing Kenya. When Kipyegon is running, is representing Kenya. So this is the mindset that we are supposed to have, not this sijui huyu ni wa Munyoro. If you're thinking like that, then you will not feel as if you are home. But if you want to feel your home, just think Kenya first. Then you are going to go very fast. So Kidembe, tafadhali, enda waambie huyo mzee mwenye yuko huko juu, huyo mwenye hatai kusikia na hatai kuambiwa, start thinking made in Kenya. If he thinks Kenya, then we are going to go far. But if he continue thinking sijui Sugoi, sijui akwende kabisa.
UFP party, Anna, thank you. The campaign you'll come in. And your name is being called. Yes.
Okay, Hillary na update habari zenyu. Huyo
Tuko
host
salama sisi, tunashukuru.
hata sisi nashukuru. Ya kwanza ni shukuru Harambee Stars, wameonyesha umaarufu wao, especially the Ramsey. Nimemfurahia sana, last time aliscore, leo amescore, that's a great. Then kuna kitu nataka niulize Dikembe before I continue so that he can answer to me that one. That's a common thing to him. Dikembe, I've heard you say that the 2024 protest culminated because of politics. I want to tell you it was in history where the youths of this country, regardless of political affiliates they were, regardless of ethnic group they come from, we all agreed the country was wrong. So the death that occurred did not occur because of political issues. It occurred because of demanding of the right thing to the citizens. So that's why I concur to some when I see people saying shoot to kill. Yet because those people you are telling to shoot to kill, they are demanding their right. When we were talking of Murkomen holding a watch of 2 million, serious, and then there is a student who is lacking 150,000 to register for exam. Do you want to tell me those things could right? Dikembe answer.
You've said a lot of things and I can't get the question, but on 2024 protests, remember as people were protesting outside, what is rarely said is what was happening inside. The ODM party and Azimio inside were shouting, reject all. And remember, that was the third reading. That was like the third time that matter was coming on the floor of the House. This is the same party that in 2023, when some of you may not have even been following a debate on taxation in Parliament, was also saying the same thing. So I don't get this impression that simply because people came to the streets or people, breached Parliament. Let me tell you this. If it was the intention of ODM to destroy public institutions, occupy public institutions, if that was the instruction that ODM supporters would have been given in those many years that we had been protesting in this town, we would have destroyed all these institutions long time ago. So these bragging rights about getting into parliament by 2024 protesters and all that, for me they are neither here nor there. Those are meager things that should not occupy our minds. On the question
Okay,
about, let me conclude. On the question about people who are wearing watches and all that, these people are wearing these watches prior to elections, and they were still voted in. So next time, when you vote, try to look at who was wearing these expensive watches and don't vote them in. But you don't put them in power, and then now you start lecturing the rest of the country that realized that it could not have been people who were in 2013 were paupers by 2014, 2015, with the construction of SGR and all that, were overnight millionaires. You put them in power in 2017, you again put them in power in 2022, and then later on, 2 years later, you begin to lecture the rest of us who are opposed to them about their own integrity. We already knew that some of these characters had very low integrity, and that is why we didn't vote for them. Thank you.
okay,
Okay. Thank you.
you didn't answer me what I was directing. I was asking what the your notion. Yeah,
You want it to be you and Dikembe or other people also to talk.
I
But
wanted
answer
just
you.
let me just
So
ask them one thing.
ask all your questions then.
Then I wanted to ask the Kembe what I was interested you to understand is this. About this issue of shoot to kill, you are defending it because you say the government, because some are in government. Yet, whatever was there when we are asking for that accountability, we ask because of those police who shoot. Then you say that it is because of 2017 people were killed. Then in 2024 people were killed. Those two things, they were killed, but the same people killed them, but in different way. Because like in 2017, people were killed because of the protest they do against the government due to election. In 2024, youths were killed because of the way they wanted to demand for service delivery. Not because they were rejecting what Ruto is elected, not because that Ruto we were rejecting Ruto is the president. No, those two things I want you to clarify, because I heard you saying that because there is a shoes, someone is wearing a shoes, then the others are feeling that shoes does not favor them. Kindly, can you come up clear so that we know where you, because I know.
As he coming there, can you give us also a way forward? What do you
Okay,
think
okay.
that we can do?
Okay, let's see. Yeah, the way the forward, we should
Yeah.
not compare. We should not compare the youth protest in 2024 demanding for their service or their rights. Then we compare it in 2024 rejection of a government being elected. Those two things are two different ways.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Hillary,
I hear what you're saying. Yes, Dikembe.
Hillary, a quick response. You see why you see why it's very sad sometimes to argue with these 2024 Mau heroes, because they don't get it. They come on stage and they don't get that this struggle for good governance, this struggle to hold police accountable, has been a long struggle. Koome, who became IG of police, IGP, was one of those people who were even pelting protesters at another time with stones. When he was being interviewed for this job, we protested his appointment, we protested his nomination, and at that point in time, nobody even bothered to question his own, past on these things. So and then death is death, and death is sad, whether it is in 2024 or in 2023. Remember that at an earlier time, people used to be clobbered right in their own homes. When you talk about Mutinda, when you talk about Baby Pendo, those were not people protesting because a government had been stolen. And then, if you don't understand that a government that has been criminally constituted will conduct criminalities on you, then there is no need to argue with such characters. And that takes me back to the lady who was speaking with a lot of, he took this moral pedestal that she shouldn't be. She took this moral pedestal that she shouldn't be standing on. First of all, as an adult who does not vote, I wonder why we even give such characters a listening ear. Those ones should first be taught that the first responsibility of an adult and a civic adult is to vote and to vote wisely. Thanks, Abdi and Hillary.
Abdi, you're here.
Tulimetaja
On
asijibu.
Go ahead, Hannah.
Anna,
You know, if we are going to be talking about the people who did not vote and you dismiss them, then you are the most stupid person in this world, because you have to ask yourself, no, in reality you have to ask yourself, why did these people not vote? Why?
but I think Hannah, yeah, as
No,
as a
reality.
team, I think
If
there's
you are
some
going,
there's some words that we are very careful not to use.
stupid is stupid you cannot change.
Yeah,
He
but
cannot
you
change,
know,
ni kumaanisha
no, no, no,
akili
no,
ya
no.
no
Get my point.
Hillary.
I'm saying this, you know. So we must keep our space with a lot of moral and a lot of respect. And I usually say this: I respect everybody, and I respect um, whoever comes here to give his voice and everything. But I think we are so categorical with the words that we use, and that one I will not contradict myself. That
Okay, good.
using
That's
the word
fine.
like stupid, I think is not right to us as pressure point, not even the
Okay, fine
individual.
for you, but
So
stupid
we cannot use
is
that.
just a word.
No,
It's
no,
just a
no,
word. But
no. It's
anyway,
just
if you
no.
want
What
to
do you know? What
remove,
that
I'll
mean?
remove.
Do you know what it means?
It means somebody who has not discernment.
Yeah,
That
but
is
we are
stupid.
not using it. We are not
Why?
using it. Anna.
He's
So
he's
because of respect of each everybody, we
okay,
must respect
okay, fine.
everyone. And I don't want to argue about that. Okay, go ahead.
The question is, why would I have candidates who have no moral authority, who are not good enough for me to go and vote for them? I cannot vote for somebody who I am seeing particularly I'm being forced to vote for, or I'm being pushed to vote for. So you're asking me to go and look for someone who is presented by the party system. Already I know very well the party system is already deranged. It is already it has already the problems of party politics inside it, and it's not going to be fair for me and my money, and it's not going to give me what I want as a politician. So at the end of the day, you are dismissing a number of people who is equivalent to almost 8 million who never voted. And you're looking at that number and you're saying, okay, they have no moral authority, they have no moral ground to speak, yet they are Kenyans, yet they are paying taxes. So that is really deranged, if you do not want me to use the other word. So
No.
I will leave it to that. No,
and
it's
and
true.
what is the way forward? That's why we usually take that. What the way forward? Well,
the,
let us
the,
not dwell on
the
that.
way forward of Kenya is
Yes.
meant to
Mm.
become men. If you know there is a problem in your home, you take care of it. If you know there is a problem in politics and you are in politics, take care of it. If you know there is a problem in the party and you're part of the party, take care of it. Why are we sugarcoating things as though we have to follow just one person? We have to believe in one. There is a problem in each and every sector. We have publicized everything, we have politicized everything, yet it is not supposed to be like that. It's a government for the people, by the people, with the people. That is how it's supposed to be. But we are now into party politics in everything, even in our schools. So we are losing every moral authority, being ourselves, being human, because we are lacking that thing which is called Ubuntu. So if Kidembe is in now in politics. If Kidembe now is in government, while he was out of government, he saw that there is a problem somewhere. Right now, he is in government. Why don't you take care of it instead of coming and telling us stupidity and derangement things here? Thank you very much.
Something, something. I just want to add a little bit. I think it's always good to engage without judging one another. I think everyone has their own reasons and perspective, and even if we don't agree, respect and listen will take us further than dismissing each other. I believe as we engage in this discussion, let's keep it respectful, avoid putting each other down, and everything comes with their own perspective and reasons for them to say what they say. So I think we may not always agree, but we can always have a common ground for discussion. Asante sana, Hannah, for always coming out through, and I think we can all agree on something. Over to you, Hillary.
Thank you so much. Yeah, let us keep conversation. Yes, Rosemary. I see you, Dr. Kimani. I see you, Dolphin. I see you. I'm giving you a mic in a few, and even Josephine and Ronyo. Rosemary, how are you doing today? It's your Sunday. Oh, Rosemary is coming in later. Let us go to Dr.
I'm
Kimani.
ready.
Oh, wait.
I'm ready.
Oh, yeah. All right. I can
Hillary,
hear you.
thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I thank you, and I hope everybody on the platform listening and will listen later are doing well. Yes, I just want to really buttress the point that my brother Abdi has brought up. I think we need to maintain respect for each other. Sisi wa Kenya ni watu wa amani. And no matter how much we disagree on principle, it is important that, such strong language, mimi kama mama, kama auntie, kama grandmother, language like that is what they would call, it's not culture, it's not civil. One may get very emotional, may be really charged, but it is what it is. And also, hata upande wa Dikembe, mimi am very impartial. Hata upande wa Dikembe, kuanza kudismiss dada yetu kuwa we hukupiga kura, so it's notwithstanding. So I hope ndugu yangu Dikembe umechukua hiyo na umeiweka kwa mfuko. Now, Hillary, you remember when we were struggling even on the X space, how some of the youth told us in 2022. Hawa 18-year-olds na kwenda mbele walisema, anti, that day itakuwa ni holiday, nitachukua blanketi nijifinike. It is a holiday, so they were not exercising their God-given right. Yuko na kipande lakini kwenda kupiga kura, either they did not agree with the people who are standing, then push some of the people you want to stand, ili to seek political posts, or even yourself. Anza na kanisa yako, anza na community at national level. Go in, tutakupigia kura. So all I'm saying, that notwithstanding, that is water under the bridge. Walitupatia middle finger, but it is what it is. Hawakupiga kura, sawa. We are now where we are. How do we go? How do we move on? Moving on ni kwamba tujielimishe wenyewe. And I want to encourage ourselves, all of us, me included, civic education. Tuzungumze na grandmas, tuzungumze na community zetu, tuzungumze na vijana kuwa, let's vote to the man 2027. Kama wataiba, but you feel like you've exercised your vote. Ili, if you are not happy with the leadership, and I am not happy with the leadership in the direction that it's been going, I'm making up my mind among the candidates, ni nani ambaye nitapigia kura na some of the people that I will influence. So all I'm saying ni kwamba, at the end of the day, it is important. It's unfortunate that during the demonstrations, and all of them, irrespective whether they were organized by ODM, ama Generation Z, ama Generation Zote, demonstration is demonstration, and a demonstration, it's in our constitution, and we have every right hapa New York kuwa uzuri wa demonstration hapa, there is designated places ambao hata mapolisi NYPD ambao wanaitwa the finest wanawambia, okay, now it's done, wrap it up, that sort of thing. Nyumbani mnakamatwa. And talking of kukamatwa, right now I am, in support of the young people and who are picked up randomly, they just looked young na nini with the government, and they are locked up. We are fundraising for them. Ningewaomba tafadhali kwa unyenyekevu, kama una kakitu kadogo, please check out on Shakira Wafula's handle kuwa, sorry Hillary if I'm promoting this, but I think tuko pamoja, sisi sote ni wa Kenya, meaning tunataka
Tumepoteza Rosemary.
Yeah.
all I'm saying, I'm concluding my brother. All I'm saying, tafadhali tusaidiane through LSK and wale lawyers ambao wamejitolea, kina Ndegwa and everybody else, ili tuwatoe. Every kid needs to be home. Kama iko makosa, present them to court, sio kuwafungia ndani. All I'm saying ni kwamba the work is cut out for us. 2027 sio mbali. Hillary, unakumbuka tulijaribu sana, lakini we did not get the results we were looking for. Am I angry? Of course I'm angry. But sitaanza kutumia such strong language ama nini kutusi mtu kwa sababu I want to make a point across. I think you can still say what you want to say in a much more civilized and kinder, and even lower your tone na nini. Congratulations to Haram.
Umepotea ukisema congratulations Harambee Stars, lakini ni sawa, tumepata hapo. Mama ubarikiwe sana, nashukuru. Harambee Stars wameonyesha utu na binadamu na na uzalendo wa sisi kama Wakenya. Tunashukuru sana kwa Harambee Stars kwa yale ambayo wamefanya. Asante sana. Dr. Kimani, you've been here for a while. How are you doing today?
I'm good,
Dr. Milton,
brother.